Alright, this is Lewis. I thought I'd do a fun little video here where I talk about alien abductions. I thought I'd just share my experiences, and just try to articulate them and put them out there. So I've had a series of experiences, and it's hard to differentiate between, what's a dream and what happened, and, it might have all just been a dream, and, so just throwing that disclaimer out there. I do approach this stuff with that in mind. I am not convinced that I've been abducted by aliens or anything, but here are just some interesting stories. One of the earliest I wasn't even going to mention this, but I actually think this is kind of important. One of the earliest lucid dreams I ever had, I was young. I must have been real young, like 4 or so, because we were living in this house that I was going to when I was in preschool. And basically these vampires show up, and they showed up. They flew into the backyard and they came up, and that's about the extent of the dream. I know some of this is going to be a little fragmented, but yeah, it was like, and it could have just been, just a kid, and maybe I saw something. Another lucid dream, same house, around the same age. I'm in this park or something, and I'm going up this pathway, and I come across is this kind of mansion castle thing, with the gate and these row of flowers, and it was gardens of flowers and like garden beds, and up on in the distance was this this huge mansion, and on the balcony I saw this hooded figure, and it terrified me to the core. And I started running, and I saw the figure dash back into the house, and I ran down the hill, and my dad and my sister Zoe were there, and it was at the base of this hill, and I get to them, and this hooded figure, which was the iconic vision of the angel of death, with the scythe and everything, and I remember my dad and my sister were talking to the angel of death or whatever, this hooded figure, and that fucker was pointing at me. He was like, "Fucking get this guy!" And he took a swipe at me with his scythe, and I woke up, and there was a painting on the wall, and I looked at this painting, and literally it was like the angel of death was still in the painting, smiling at me. And then I woke up again, so it was a dream within a dream, which was crazy. And I've had a lot of lucid dreams, and there's more there, but I just thought I'd get into, got a little off topic there with lucid dreams, huh? But anyways, there's lots and tons of lucid dreams, especially as we get into this this series of experiences I had. I'm trying to get through this quickly, and it is fragmented, and I can't give you a lot of detail because there's it's just what I remember. Next interesting story, memory I share was I'm sitting on a couch. I must be 10 years old. I was in 4th grade. This is in Alameda, California, which in the ufology cults actually has some sort of significance, apparently, whatever. And I felt this presence, and I turned my head, and there was this little gray, and this gray was more humanoid than you would than our typical gray, but it was short like a child, and I saw it, and it saw me, and it had this look of terror on its face, and I ran at it like a lunatic, and cornered into the hallway, and I drew a Star of David on its chest, and I was basically extending the dream. But yeah, the Star of David itself was violet in color, and but yeah, I felt like this scan, like it was scanning my mind or something. But okay, so that was like 10 or something. So in the mid 2000s and mid to late 2000s, about the time, the Destiny materials being put out and all the interviews coming out of the portal and all that information that was being channeled was coming out. I started diving deep into like self-hypnosis and using some of the tools that we've been given to kind of tweak with my own consciousness. Well, one night I woke to there's this orb above my bed, and a glowing orb. I forget what color it was off the top of my head, but sorry, I'm driving. I do so much driving. I drive hours a day. Anyway, and this orb above my bed. I'm levitating above my bed. So it was one of those levitation dreams, And then I don't exactly remember if the orb encompassed me, but I was on taken aboard some sort of I was in a room, right? So I was either on a craft. I didn't see any windows or anything. It could have been, could have just been a mental construct. It could have been, anything. I don't know where I was, and but it was kind of like a laboratory, or like a doctor's office, And a little embarrassing. At the time, I had I was having irritable bowel syndrome, and it's just my diet wasn't great. I think I was 18, 19 at the time, and I was struggling with my bowels. And so what I remember was this first thing, I'm in this room, and there's this toilet, and I had to have a bowel movement, and it's kind of interesting. Only time I've ever had a dream or anything like that where I was, sitting on the toilet, and then, anyways, then these tall grays come into the room, and after I relieve myself, they come into the room, and I don't remember any of the conversation for the most part, but I think it was somewhere along the lines of, I was I don't know what's going on, but, I don't think humanity deserves what's happening, and, I like to help. I think this is kind of the attitude I had. They brought in this humanoid who ironically looked like this girl I ended up dating. And I think, but obviously, I think it was a shapeshifter or anything like that. And, just put me at ease to the humanoid form. But, when we see, drawings of, ufology and alien stuff, they have, Alpha and Centauri kind of figures. It kind of reminds me more of that. But, anyways, the feeling I got from the Greys were that they were kind of more machine kind of things. It's just the feeling I got from them. And then, this humanoid, I don't remember what our conversation was about, but I remember us laughing and so anyways, so the next day I had another dream the next night, where I was taken aboard a spacecraft. I don't remember how I got there. I don't even know if it was a spacecraft, but this time I'm on a surgical table. And on a table, I'm surrounded by those tall graves. And I'm not sure what they did or whatever or anything like that, and that, all could just be dreams, right? The next day, I wish I could give more details, but it's really not much I can say because, like a dream, it's hard to remember, and because it probably was a dream. And if I was abducted, I guess they erase your memory or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just putting out here what I recall, and just because, why not? And then the next day, I had this. It might have been the next day. It might have been a couple days later. It's hard to differentiate. In the middle of the night, I had this urge I got up and I ran outside. I ran outside, there was a van. I got in the van, and there were like these men in black characters. And they took me to a facility I was pretty sure it was underground. Brought me into a room and they were interrogating me on what I saw, what I heard, whatnot. And I don't know basically how that went. One of the more interesting things about that though was this form of abduction is actually quite common in as far as abduction stories, as far as the Men in Black go. Anyways, once again, this was at a time where I was diving deep into all this stuff, and so, I'm reading accounts of abductions and stuff like that, and so there you go. Preconceived notions. So I'm willing to write that this all was just my imagination and dreams. Alright, so following that, I had a series of visions. Now, these were waking visions. I saw, this is not me asleep, this is not me doing drugs. One that was really clear and ominous was this all-seeing eye kind of thing. And I do see orbs quite often, but this was it was like you're being watched. And it was immediately after these things was kind of the feeling I got from this. This is like the eye, the eye of Sauron's on you, And then I saw, a vision in the clouds of white horsemen, which in retrospect I think might have just been a little future thing that I might be that cowboy. And but anyways, all right. So we want to just talk about the alien things. So I saw a bunch of little UFO stuff, like orbs, flying orbs. I saw one, at the start of all these sequences. Sorry, I got the merge and no one wants to let me merge. Alright, there you go. We've got one more to go. Come on, buddy. There you go. Sorry, guys. Thank you, team player. There we go. Alright. So, I was looking at the moon, right? And, I saw that, and I was centering and being present and putting out let's just say I was focusing on the moon. And I see this red speck come down from the sky, float over the cityscape of San Francisco, over my house. Yeah, do a little flyby. That was interesting, and I'm pretty sure that preceded all those series of dreams I had or experiences. I really should check out some hypnotic, get recessed and see if there's actually anything I can get out of this. It's not a lot of detail. All right, there's two more I wanted to share. I had another experience where I was in this apartment building, and I ran onto the street, and there was this fucking 15, 20 foot tall green, like giant kind of, I don't want to say like reptilian, but it was a big green man. You know, might have been reptilian. I don't remember seeing a tail, but it was a big boy. And at first I was fearful, but the and it got this look of like, with the fear I had, it had this look of like anger, like, you know, like fight face, you know, a little grimace. But then, like, you know, I put my hand out, and he shook my hand with a big smile. And yeah. Another experience I had there was that like, I was like trying to leave my body, like, you know, breathing in, like imagining myself as like an orb, you know, and centering myself in my like solar plexus. I breathe in the light, and as I exhale, you know, pushing the light out, imagining myself sinking. That was another one, little tool I was using to kind of have some of these more interesting experiences, like you know, a lot of little self-hypnotic suggestions and stuff like that. And I, you know, it was really close, and I heard this voice was like, and I kind of like turned back, and his voice was like, "Oh, he was so close." Yeah, he was almost free. And actually, since that moment, I haven't really even gotten explored that, try to doing those like rituals, or I haven't really tried to leave my body or anything like that. I'm not really interested in that stuff. I mean, I guess I'm interested, but I just haven't really been putting any sort of effort into that stuff. Yeah, I view this as a human experience. I don't think the idea of escaping as an energetic being into the interdimensional plane really does anybody any good. All right, this is almost 20 minutes long. What more do I want to say? Yeah. So then, you know, there's a lot of different experiences happening there with orbs, shadow figures, shadows, and you know, I guess we would call them demons, fairies. I see fairies. I see orbs like every day, and you know, I don't know if it's retina damage. You know, from being hit so many times. So it could be that. That's why I see these like specks and stuff. But like, honestly, like, you know, I just feel like some of these experiences are real, and some of these might be implanted. Some of these might be dreams from preconceived notions. But for the most part, like, what I gather from all this is that there's just more to the universe than meets the eye. And I definitely believe that Earth is, humanity is not the only intelligent life out there, and I believe that there is a lot more going on in the universe. So the last little gray demon experience, well, there's two. I was in Santa Cruz, and I'm trying to think which one came first. But I had this dream where I was in this, like, it was, if you read The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis, it was, I believe they call it The Woods, and it's this world in between worlds, and at each there's a tree, and at each base of each tree was a pond, and that pond was kind of like the gateway to another world. What I saw was that, only it was like a wasteland, and like and I remember I was running and I fell into a pit in this kind of gray, shorter gray, not the really humanoid looking one, but more like an insectoid kind of one. And I kind of get the feeling that this is more like, it would, if it's anything more than a dream, this is more like a demon. And it grabbed me. And then the next one, it was the same demon, alien, gray construct, and making this turn here. I remember standing in my doorway, staring at me. Same place, around the same time, and yeah, I got this really dark chill. But anyways, I know this video is a little longer than I like, but just some interesting stuff that happened to me as far as like in the dream world, astral plane. I do have a feeling that that some of that stuff did actually happen, and I don't know exactly what happened, and I'm not particularly disturbed by any of this, and so yeah, this is Lewis sharing my alien abduction stories. All right, sorry about this driving. All right.